Hi everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we'll be sewing this bustier gown with a illusion of Queen Anne neckline. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share with your sew friends. So guys, let's get into it. I'm done cutting on my fabric, and here we have the yoke. On my yoke here, I left ½ inches for the front. This is the neck that we used to join the neck and turn it to the front, and on the hem of the yoke that we used to join to the bustier, I left ½ inches also. I cut out 4 pieces because I'll be making use of the fabric as a lining for my yoke. Then this is my back, the back of the gown. At the side, I added 2.5 inches for seam allowance. This is it. This is my zipper allowance. This is the side of my back. And I've cut out my lining also, 2 of the lining in the back. This is it. For the bustier, this is my bustier. You can see how it is. I've cut out my lining also. At the side of my bustier, I left 2.5 inches, and here also half inches to join the bodies together. So this is my skirt. On the skirt, on the center front, this is the front, I added 2.5 inches also for the seam allowance, and I've cut out my lining. On the hem of the skirt, I fold it in, so after sewing it will be the length of the gown. Then this is the back of my skirt. At the side back here, I added 2.5 inches for seam allowance, and at the center back for my zipper allowance, I added 1 inches. So now the first thing we have to do on this video, if you've not seen the cutting and the drafting of this video, please check the comment section. I drop it on the comment section, you see it there. Now what we'll be doing is to go and sew the dart for the skirt, for the fabric and the lining. I'll do this for my skirt, the front and the back, and tell you what next to do. For the front, now we have to join the bustiers together. The first, when you're working with the bustier, when you're working bustier or corset, anything, you just have to start your joining from the hem of your cup, or from the hem of your half length. Yeah, let's say half length. You start from the from the hem of the bustier. That's where you join from. So now I'll go and join 1/2 inches from the hem of my half length and tell you what next to do. I'll do this for this side of the bustier and the other side also. Guys, I'm done with the sewing of my bustier. You can see how it looks. And this is the inside. I've given it a good press. So now the next we have to do is to sew down our yoke. So now I'll go to the sewing machine. I will sew down my yoke on 1/2 inches and give it a good press and tell you what next to do. So guys, I'm done with the sewing of the 2 yoke. You can see how neatly finished it is. I sew on the allowance I left for the yoke. Now next we have to do is to place the yoke from this joining we have here this way, like this, and I'll pin down. I'll do the same thing on this other side also. And after pinning down, the next we have to do is to turn with the lining. So now I'll go to the sewing machine. The yoke will be in between the lining and the main fabric. So now I'll go and turn my neckline on 0.25, so the neckline is going to show very well. Now I'll do this and show you what it looks like when I'm done. Guys, I'm done with the turning of the neckline. You can see where I stop to sew my yoke, so that we can join our sleeve from here. So now the next I have to do, I will give this a launch. You launch it so it will lay down flat this way. Launch your neckline. You can see the way I'm doing mine. So now I'll go and give this a good press and tell you what next to do. So guys, I'm done with the pressing of the neckline. You can see how pretty it's sitting. Now the next we have to do is to work on the skirt of the front. I will go and sew down my darts and give it a good press. Then I will join it with a half length of the gown and tell you what next to do. So guys, I'm done with the sewing of the dart for my front, and I've done the same thing also on the lining. Now I'll be turning the skirt on the hem with the lining. Now I'll go and sew this down on half inches. You can see the way I'm putting down my pin. This is how I'll go and sew on the hem of my skirt like this. And after doing that, then I will now adjust it to the, you can see now this is how it is on the top of the skirt. Then I will adjust it like this and sew on the sides of my skirt also. I'll do this and show you what it looks like. So guys, I'm done with the turning of the side of the skirt, and you can see the hemline. Look at how it looks after turning it. Now I've gone ahead already to join the skirt to the half length. Now we have a gown. The front is complete. You can see how it is. The next I have to do is to just overlock this and give it a good press. I'll keep the front aside, so we should work on the back. So guys, I'm done with the sewing of the dart for my back. This is it, and I've done the same thing also on the lining. Now the next we have to do is to turn the neckline, the sides. This my side back, I will turn it, and I will turn the side of my zip. I'll do this for this back and show you what it looks like. I'm done with the turning of my neckline. You can see how it is. After turning it, I give it a lunge round the neckline. I've turned the center of the back. I did the same thing also on the side of the back. Now I'll turn this to the front and give it a good press. Guys, I'm done with the pressing of the back, and I've gone ahead also to turn the back of my skirt, the two back. This is it, and I've given it a good press. Now the next we have to do is to join the half length to the skirt. Now I'll go to the sewing machine. I'll join this on half inches. You can see my darts. When you are doing this, make sure your dart is matching each other. I'll do this for this side of the back and the other side, and I will tell you what next to do. So guys, I'm done with the joining of the half length to the skirt. Now it's giving us the straight gown. Next we have to do now is to join the front and back at the shoulder. So I'll bring my back and front this way, and I'll just put the two this way and use the lining to the back like this and sew on half inches. After doing that, I will join the sides on 2 inches, which is my seam allowance, and tell you what next to do. So guys, I'm done with the joining of the sides of the gown, and I've gone ahead to fix my zip. Next we have to do now is to cut the sleeve. Now to cut this basic sleeve, you know the thumbnail, it has a basic sleeve and a flare. Then I fold my fabric into two. The Ankara fabric, Ankara is by 45. After folding into two, because I'll be cutting the two sleeves together. Now this is what I have here, which is 22. I'll get the length of my sleeve. The full length of the sleeve is 26. The first thing I'll cut out the basic sleeve before we cut out the flares. For the basic sleeve, I will make use of 18 inches for the basic sleeve, which is 18 inches here. Mark. So I'll connect this with the straight line. So now the next you have to do is to get your cap height. To get your cap height, you divide your bust by 12 plus 1. The bust I'm working with, after dividing my cap height, I have 4 inches. Now I'll mark the 4 inches here. And here I'll mark 8 inches, like this. So I'll just draw down. Check what I have here, 8 inches. I'll add my seam allowance. My seam allowance, I have 10 inches here. So now for the round armhole, I'll make use of 8 inches. Now connect this like this. So I'll cut this out and tell you what next to do. Guys, I'm done with the cutting of the sleeve. Now we have to cut out the flay on the sleeve. 26 inches. Now I'll be cutting out 8 inches for the flay. So this is my flay. I fold my fabric into 4. Now I'll come down from this radius by 2 inches for the round sleeve. The way I fold my flay, it will not be having joining. So this is it. So now the next we have to do is to get the remaining length of the sleeve. So I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance, which is 9 inches. So here I'll mark 9 inches. Here also mark 9 inches. So this is it. I've connected the flay together. I'll cut it out. So guys, I'm done with the cutting of the flay. Now I'll cut out my lining, and I'll do the same thing also on my basic sleeve. Then I will turn the sides with the lining and tell you what next to do. I'm done with the sewing of the sleeve. You can see how it is. I've turned it with the lining, and I've done the same thing also on the flay of the sleeve. You can see how it looks. Now the next I have to do, I'll go to the sewing machine. I'll be sewing the side of my sleeve on 1.5 inches this way to this end of the sleeve here. After doing that, now I will now join the flay to the sleeve to make it a long sleeve at this hem here, and I will show you what it looks like. Here I'm done with the joining of the flay. Now we have a long sleeve. This is it. This is how it looks. This is the flay on the sleeve, and you can see this is the inside. I'll use my serger to serge the inside of the sleeve, and this is it here. It looks neat here. So now I will bring the gown. I'll be joining the sleeve to the gown. So now I'll bring the side of my gown and the side of my sleeve. I will join these together at the side this way. But before we do that, we have to launch the head of the sleeve. So now the joining of the sides of my gown and the joining of the sleeve will be facing each other this way. And I will turn it to the back and pin down. Now this launch I have on the head of my sleeve here will be facing the shoulder this way. So now I'll go and sew the sleeve round the shoulder and show you what it looks like. I'm done with the fixing of the sleeve. You can see how beautiful this gown looks. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching to the end. See you guys on my next video. God bless you.